Sometimes the simplest of questions can lead to the most profound answers. My question is why? Why? Why do we have Davos? Why do we have the World Economic Forum? Why do we have this litany, as Marty Bent has so eloquently timelined out, of the litany of characters here telling us about climate change, about energy usage, about misinformation, disinformation, about rebuilding trust, about how we can and how big tech and government should be forcing people to use their websites and their information and boosting the trusted sources. Why? Like, why? No, I mean, like, literally, why? Ask yourself, why? Why? Who donned you as the kings and queens of the world? Who says you're the smartest people to do it? Who says? Who says? Like, when I walk out of the door in the morning, like, I don't work for you. I'm not owned by you. There's only one owner of all of us, and he's upstairs. He works upstairs. I don't think that guy put all of us on Earth to just like go to work on the hamster wheel for you in Davos or for some company or whatever. I don't think that's how this works. We're all free human beings on the planet, all 8 billion people. No matter what anyone says, thinks, or does, doesn't matter. We're all free individuals, regardless of what governments say or what people at Davos say. Period. It's self-evident. Like, you really think we're just these cogs in a wheel on Earth just to work at the behest of someone else? Really? Truly? I mean, I want deep thought into this. Deep thought. Why? Why is this appropriate? Why is this needed? You know, Bill Gates over here, the tech guy, again, talking the only time he opens his mouth is about medical issues. Last I heard, he's not a doctor. Joe Rogan is censored, can't say a thing about anything. The guy actually isn't shaved, takes care of his body, and actually looks into this. When you have another guy who's a tech expert and gives a lot of his cash to the World Health Organization and WHO, which is why we say follow the money and not follow the science. Follow the money. Follow the connections. Follow the money. Escort services, once again, overloaded. Everyone's tapped out, literally and figuratively tapped out. Escort services. People flying their private jets, spewing carbon into the air while they're telling you simultaneously while they're there that carbon's bad, energy usage is bad. But, watch what I do. And what I say, I should say. Watch what I say, not as I do. Because I'm more important than you. I have a mission to serve humanity by spending all the energy, and you can't do anything. I mean, just go look at the headlines. Go look at the headlines everywhere, across publications all over the place. People saying that heating your homes may cause blood clots. I mean, things so absurd, and gaslighting you so much, and calling you stupid, and just middle fingering you left and right. And the average human being, unfortunately, just takes it. Just thinks like, yeah, that's normal. These people have my best intentions at heart. Like I said the other day, I used to play Monopoly as a kid, and I would cheat my face off. I would become the banker, ironically, and I would steal money all the time. I'd steal currency all the time. Be taking 2 100s when I should take 1 100. Taking 3 when I should take 1. And you're telling me these people, with all the fame, power, fortune in the world at play, are just benevolent. Nothing to see here. They're not doing anything wrong. They're doing nothing. They have no evil intentions. They're the best people in the world. These are the best people in the world. These are the 12 disciples. There's just 1,000 of them now. There's 1,000 disciples here of Christ, of people so benevolent and in doing the right thing, which, mind you, the 12 disciples also were humans, and they were fallible. Peter denying Christ 3 times. Judas betraying and getting Christ killed. And on and on and on. All of them fallible. Mistakes. Sinners. So who in the world allotted these people the kingship and the power to do these things? These people, mind you, have colluded on themselves, conspiring, root word of conspiracy, conspiring to do things together arbitrarily to help humanity. They've just decided, they've taken it upon themselves that they are going to be the arbiters of what happens in the world and the crises that are going to take place, so that way they can take power and control of things, because they are the ones, many of them have the power and control. That's why leaders are there now. That's why global leaders, that's why presidents, prime ministers, dictators, despots go to these places, and they make connections with each other. And that's the cabal where it's formed. This happens at the local Rotary Club, Freemasons, and Lions Clubs in your local city here in the West and in America, and it happens at global scales. And people that don't think that that's the case, I have some oceanfront property in Nebraska to sell you. This is how humanity works. This is how a fallen world works. These are how governments work. Collective organizations that get together to centralize and take more power away from the individual. It's always happened like this. It continues to happen like this. But there is a way out. Broken currencies are what allow this to fester and grow uncontrollably, based in debt. So, what's the opposite of that? An equity money. What is an equity money? What's a fair and just equity money based on capital, based on equity, based on value and work? You tell me. What's opposite of the system? Fiat currencies we have now. What are the opposite things? And what can move at the speed of light, the speed of transactions, the speed of commerce, unlike shiny metals, which I've had, and I have, and I don't have a problem with them. But how are we going to have the sly roundabout way to take power back from these arbitrary leaders and put them back into the hands of the people, so that we can have lower cost of living and higher standards for everyone, instead of a few people at the top who have deemed themselves kings and queens to rule the world and to just arbitrarily. I don't know any of these people got elected to Davos. Did I get a vote? Did we get a vote? Did anyone get a vote? You tell me. I don't know. These people just gone there and done that. Should we create our own freedom alliance to do this? And people that just want freedom? This is the hard part. This is the hard thing. People that are based in freedom, natural law, first principles, they don't get together. Newsflash. They want to be left alone. Evil knows that. Evil knows that. Evil centralizes. Evil coalesces. Misery loves company. These people get together because they have a hatred of life. They have a hatred of other human beings. They have a hatred of the way the world works. And they want to get together to conspire to do things that are against the betterment of society, that are against the individual, that are against the family, that are against a group of individuals here on Earth. So are we going to continue letting, and when I say this, I mean by just being informed and voting in the right people and being present in your local community and voicing your opinion, not standing silent, not standing idly by, voting with your feet, voting with your wallet, voting with your voice, making your opinions heard, making truth heard, disinfecting darkness with light. That's what I mean by saying, are we going to let this continue? Are we going to let a bunch of unelected, arbitrarily chosen, self-imposed leaders imposing their own will and just getting together to create forms and factions of groups of people around the world to enact policy, enact law, which is all of it arbitrary? Again, all law is arbitrary. This is a whole other rabbit hole to go down, but all law is arbitrary. Everything is arbitrary. Again, you were born on this earth with nothing, with zero. We were put on this earth with nothing, with zero. There were 10 commandments, 10 laws to follow. That was it, that we were given. Everything else is arbitrary, completely arbitrary, completely made up. One man got up, said, I'm going to build that building. I'm going to put in these zoning laws. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this road here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to elect this group of people. I'm going to get myself elected. All these things are arbitrary. They're all stories that men and women have told themselves and went and acted on, and then other people have either allowed them to do it or not allowed them to do it. Period. When you break these things down to their essence, down to their core, it starts to become less of a burden, and it starts to become easier to fathom and understand what's actually happening. And then once we have that understanding, that knowing, it creates ease. It creates actual results. But when we have, and Bob Proctor talks about this all the time, when we have no understanding, a lack of understanding, we then get into disease. We then get into anger and frustration, stress, anxiety, and eventually disease, and then disintegration. This is why understanding and knowing, this isn't some convoluted thing. This isn't some like arbitrary structure that the 99% of people can't just penetrate. The 99% of people control everything. It's just 99% of people just want to live their life. The 1% are the people that want power and are seeking power. There's a lot more of us than there are people seeking power, evil people. However, good people tend to just want to live their life. Weird. Novel idea. They want to just live their life. They want to be left alone. They don't want to be doing evil things. They don't want to be involved in evil at all. A lot of people feel guilty and sick and gross just even voting and even having to think or touch a lever that has anything to do with associated with politicians or these people. And not all politicians are evil. It's just politics itself lends itself to centralization, which itself, collectivism, collectively getting these people together, is evil. It's the state of evil where it becomes a malaise. There's so much going on. There's so much that you can't then attend tend to the one person, the individual, because it's a statistic. That person's so far away. I'm in Washington, they're in Kansas. So, there's just a stat. It's just a number. It's just a little digit in the computer. That person doesn't really exist. It's easy to detach yourself from the humanness that we share. That's it. That's it. Most people are inherently good. We need to understand that. And breaking it down into its component parts, Davos, governments, these world organizations, World Bank, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, and on and on and on. All these organizations, if you break them down to their essence, that they are arbitrary organizations, arbitrary law, arbitrary rule, arbitrary groups putting themselves together in order to form and shape humanity, it begins to become very clear what's going on. And it also gives us hope that we can easily start changing things for a better future. But the foundation is money. Foundation, number one, is having a guiding light, true humility, the Alpha and Omega, true truth, as in God. And here on earth, the next thing, again, when you start lowering your ego and increasing humility with understanding that that's the truth, then the next thing is the money. The communication mechanism, the store of everyone's economic time and energy, the store they're looking for to store that can't be distorted. And the form of communication that everyone that sends price signals and market signals all around the world to each other, that money, that can't be destroyed. Once that's destroyed, everything else comes off the rails. Everything else becomes unhinged and unglued. That's where we find ourselves now. Time the people take the issuance of money back into the hands of themselves, because we have the ability now. People talk about free banking. We couldn't, blah, blah, blah. Well, we have it now. We have a money that can work at the speed of light, at the speed of commerce, that can be stored, that can be transacted, censorship resistant, permissionless, trustless. Don't have to trust rulers. We can trust rules now. We never had this in human history. We now have the difference. We now have the X factor that is going to root out much of the evil, not all the evil, but much of the evil we see, especially coming from these centralized groups and organizations. We have to have that foundation, truth and humility and a sound money, or else nothing else matters. We'll continue to see chaos, diversion, distraction, polarization, division, and hate. Guaranteed. Human history has shown us that. Please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. Trust what I am saying, but verify. Please go verify these things. And this is not financial advice, it is freedom advice. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.